organization of this gathering. I say thank you for your work and that of the CPA Africa Regional Secretariat. Let me say what you have done is appreciated very much. Second, many of you will recall that at the last AGM which we held in Arusha, Tanzania, I sat in the podium like many of you are doing today. At the highest level of our organization, you took a decision to float my candidature as CPA International Chairperson. It was not an easy task. As you know, many people, especially in this global world, believe that Africa can only be at the tail end. But you proved them wrong. Let me thank you for having campaigned vigorously about a third of the world's population, thanks to Africa. And I promise to be an able ambassador as I go about the work of CPA. Honorable members, as parliamentarians, we are united by our commitment to democratic governance. So the theme could not have come at an appropriate time, as you have heard from the many speakers, in light of the threats to democracy. So, honorable members, the core principle that underpin the work of the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association is our commitment to democracy, our commitment to the rule of law, our commitments to peace and security. One of the tenets in the theme is our resilience in dealing with conflicts, in dealing with climate shocks. These represent some of the work that we do as a Commonwealth family. So congratulations to those that conceived the theme, and I look very much to attending the workshops that will take place tomorrow so I can take notes to be able to understand our collective resolve as African parliamentarians. Speaker Gotani has said that it is high time now we began to solve our own problems. I think that after so many years of independence, we've been to some of the best schools with our colleagues all over the world. There's absolutely nothing that we can't do. I agree with Speaker Gotani that let us now hold the bull by its horn. Let us be a new generation of parliamentarians that are now committed to change the course of history by developing our own continent using our own local solutions. I think that's what I got from Speaker Gotani, and I agree with her entirely. Colleagues, the urgency of our conference theme cannot be overstated. Across the Commonwealth, the fear of democratic backsliding looms large in our own region of African democracies. We face mounting pressure, in some cases, challenges to the independence of our in the new world order. I don't need to remind all of you here, colleagues and friends, that we've been bystanders in world affairs. It is time we must be a part of the world affairs. It is time our voice as Africans must be heard and respected. I would therefore encourage colleagues who are not familiar with CPA's offering to speak to either myself or the Secretariat, Stephen Twigg and Jarvis, who incidentally, in case many of you may not know, our Deputy SG comes from Malawi. So you have a Malawian, you have a Zambian, you have the CWP outgoing chair who's a Nigerian, you have a CWP. So I believe that we are slowly beginning to take our place in world affairs. Colleagues, CPA membership is a key tool when looking at how we can uphold and strengthen our democratic institutions. It provides us with a unique platform to have a joint dialogue on national and subnational level and share best practice across the regions in addressing common challenges. Furthermore, with our transition, as you have heard from Mr. Twigg, previously we've been operating as a charity under British law. We are now, thanks to your advocacy over many years and your fight, we are now transitioning to a new international legal status, which we hope to have by the end of this year. So the CPA now hopes to provide opportunities for parliamentary representation in international fora, building on the multilateral work many of us are already engaged in. The CPA's work in Africa continues to be both relevant and impactful. I'm sure that many branches present have directly benefited from working with the CPA or being part of one of our programs. From the online parliamentary academy, and I must pause here by really trying to sell this very important aspect of CPA work. So the CPA runs a parliamentary academy whose principal aim is to build the capacity of members of parliament in many aspects of parliamentarism, right from understanding what democracy is all about, to how committees work, to how to engage in a robust, convincing debate, accountability, holding government to account, the rule of law. And this is a self-assessment which you start at your own pace, and at the end of the day, you get a certificate. I encourage many parliaments to take interest in this academy. It's a flagship program that we are running, and from what I've seen, many of those that log in to study are actually not parliamentarians. Probably maybe because we have not done so much to sell this very, very important aspect of our work. Apart from online, we also have at least 2 to 3 residence programs per year. I think we've just finished one in New Zealand. Again, I encourage many, many of you, colleagues and friends, to participate in this academy so that you see we are in a very evolving world that is moving and changing so fast that I cannot overemphasize the importance of knowledge, especially in the era of artificial intelligence. I am sure you are also aware on benchmarks for democratic legislatures. The CPA does carry out assessments of how our parliaments, how democratic our parliaments are. It would be very good to assess ourselves, to benchmark ourselves to see where we are in relation to others so that we can actually walk the talk. We don't just speak about democracy, but we should be seen to practice by having ourselves assessed. The CPA International does send some of its officers to your parliaments to see in which areas you are lagging or where you can improve. And these benchmarks have been updated. They are aimed at strengthening the functions of parliaments and empowering us as parliamentarians to promote democratic values that drew us in the first place into politics. I would encourage colleagues who are not so familiar with CPA's offering to speak, as I've said, to any of us during the time that we are here. Let me now turn to the second pillar of our discussion, which is economic shocks, very important. The aftershocks of COVID-19, compounded by global inflation and complex debt burdens across the African continent, continue to weigh heavily on African economies. It's a very familiar story to many of us. In Zambia, for example, where I come from, like many of our countries, we've been involved heavily in restructuring our debt burden, which was inherited over many years. We've been managing the triple challenge of one, debt, youth unemployment, and limited fiscal space, Because when you are choked with so much debt, you have very little to spend on various aspects of the economy. So as parliaments, we have a critical role to play in addressing these, in ensuring that we hold our executives to account, and more importantly, ensuring public financial transparency and advocating for legal frameworks that support diversification and regional trade. I'm pleased to inform you that in 2021, our economy was at -4, and within 3 to 4 years, we have managed to structure the debt, stabilize the economy, inflation is dropping, the exchange rate is stabilized, and now economic growth rate is at 4 to 6%. So I look forward to hearing from you, colleagues, how you are supporting your national governments. Very important, because you know government is 3 arms, but government. So you can't say, well, me, no, as long as we know it's parliament, the judiciary, and also the executive. We are all part of our government, and we have a responsibility as parliamentarians to support, to make the environment appropriate by passing evidence-based legislation that support economic growth so that we deliver on those promises which we made to our people. So I look forward to hearing how fellow jurisdictions are approaching these issues, particularly in balancing them with protecting and developing other crucial budgets such as those required for health and also the supply chains. The session later in the week on education, health, and social protection will serve as an opportunity for us to further discuss how, in the context of economic uncertainty, we can ensure accessible and affordable health care and develop strong parliamentary leadership in order to fulfill this, which is a topic of personal importance to me, coming from a medical background. Distinguished members, Africa also stands at the front line of the climate crisis. Whilst our continent contributes the least to global carbon emissions, as you know, we suffer disproportionately, from severe droughts in Southern Africa to erratic rainfall in West Africa. In my country, we experienced the most severe drought ever in history. But we were able to navigate through this. And I want to say that in the last farming season, because we were blessed with so much rain, again we have produced the bumper harvest of grain that the country has never produced before. Distinguished members, we have seen how climate shocks can decimate agriculture, displace families, and negatively impact wider socio-economic instability. Across the continent, climate risks are often catalysts for conflict and migration, burgeoning infrastructure and further jeopardizing potentially fragile systems. At the CPA, it is a challenge central to our work, and particularly that of our small branches. A group of these are a group of smallest parliaments in the Commonwealth who have convened in recent years to examine how they can work together to mitigate against the impacts of climate change. I welcome the CA's efforts in equipping members to champion sustainable legislation at a national level. Honourable members, I would miss if I don't pause to consider the intersectional nature of the topics we are discussing today, many of which many of my colleagues have spoken here before. The women, CWP, very important. The youth, Africa is a youthful continent, as you all know. So we all supposed to look at how we can harness the power of our young people. Africa, as you know too, is endowed with so many resources. There is no reason, therefore, colleagues and friends, why we should not support our national governments to ensure that we harness these resources for ourselves by adding value. It is therefore, colleagues and friends, an honor for me that this CPA will serve as a shared platform to continue to exchange ideas, to learn from each other, and strengthen democratic and resilient Africa, the Africa that we want. May God bless Gambia and Zambia too. May also God bless Africa. God bless CPA. Thank you very much. Yes, I will not late.
Thank you very much. And that was the president or chairperson of the CPA International, Dr. Kalila. Now we have been taking too much of speeches, and it is a time for our delegates to not only feel the smiling coast smiles, but equally the smiling melodies that accompanies the coastline. And on that note, I have the pleasure to invite one of Gambia's golden voices, Barhama, to give us some melodies of the smiling coast.
Yes. Yeah.
Tú la quieres
Thank you, Barhama. Thank you very much. Thank you. And thank you for giving us the melodies of the Smiling Coast. Now I think my task this morning is gradually coming to an end. And what I will humbly do is now to call upon the Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia to properly introduce the Chief Guest of Honor. Honorable Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Master of Ceremony. It's not a difficult job to introduce the President of the Republic of the Gambia. For those of us who witnessed independence to date, those who traversed the various leaderships to date, and are genuine to our conscience, very well know that Gambia, under the leadership of His Excellency President Adama Barrow, is second to none in democracy, rule of law, and good governance. Some of us even go to tease to say, I don't know whether I can be as tolerant as Honorable President Adama Barrow. For us in the legislature, the National Assembly underwent a very serious transformation. And throughout, we all know that parliaments usually are legislative, oversight, and representation. Oversight over the executive arm of government. But throughout the process, His Excellency President Adama Barrow acknowledges the independence of Parliament. Not only did he acknowledge it, he helps to nurture it, to nourish it, and consolidate it. You are all here to witness once again that despite his busy schedule, but because of the importance of this international conference, from beginning to scratch, to the very last moment, President Barrow and his entire government has been very supportive. For your information, our colleagues, Parliament now is an autonomous body. These and many more. That's why I have the These and many more are reasons why I have the singular pleasure and honor to call upon His Excellency President Adama Barrow, President of the Republic of the Gambia, to to deliver his speech and declare this workshop open.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. With those nice words and words of wisdom. Today, we are attending a meeting of parliamentarians. We will all agree that today is a day of speeches. I acknowledge your invitation, and I am humbled to be here as your chief guest. The Honorable Speaker of Malawi, I heard you very well. Your message is clear, your message is strong, your message is direct. It is high time we look inwards in Africa. It is the only way to move this continent forward to the next level. I call on my colleagues. We cannot now blame the colonialists. We are highly educated. I think we are prepared for the future. Thank you. Yes. The Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia and President of the CPA Africa region. The Right Honorable Speakers and heads of delegation from parliaments across Africa. My Lord, the Chief Justice of the Gambia. Honorable members of Parliament, Your Excellencies, members of the Diplomatic and the Consular Corps, representatives of regional and international organizations, esteemed members of civil society organizations and the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the government and the people of the Gambia, it is with immense pleasure and honor that I welcome you all to the Gambia, Africa's smiling coast. For the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association CPA Africa Region Conference. We are truly honored to host this significant event and trusting that the deliberations here will be impactful and inspiring. Likewise, we encourage our international guests to enjoy their stay with us. Honorable Speaker, the theme for the conference, strengthening democratic governance and resilience in Africa, tackling conflicts, economic shocks, and climate risk, resonates deeply with the aspirations and challenges of every African nation. It is a theme that invites and merits critical reflections on the intricate realities that define the present and potentially may shape the future. It is a powerful call to collective action, urging us to confront our challenges with renewed vigor and determined commitment. As parliamentarians, you are fully aware of the well-known African paradox of poor nations in wealthy lands. Africans are known to inhabit a continent of ample potential to develop rapidly. It is rich in human and natural resources and vibrant in diversity, but navigating a complex landscape of threats, instability, poverty, and uneven development patterns. We have witnessed with deep concern the presence of conflicts and the unfortunate re-emergence of unconstitutional governments in some parts of the continent. These incidents undermine peace, reverse hard-won development gains, and displace millions of people. They remind us that the true development cannot thrive in the absence of trust, hard work, peace, and stability. African economies, most of which are still developing, are extremely vulnerable to unfavorable global economic trends. Rising inflation, external debt burdens, disruptions to global supply chains, and the prolonged socio-economic impact of recent global crises continue to frustrate our efforts. Waste our resources, test our resilience. These shocks can deepen poverty, widen inequalities, and disrupt social structures. The climate crisis is not a distant threat for Africa. It is a lived reality. From the Sahelian droughts that devastates agriculture and rising sea levels that threaten our coast to unpredictable floods that displace thousands. Climate change is intensifying the vulnerability of our nations. It continues to fuel resource trigger migration and in some instances contribute to collapse. In the face of such challenges, strengthening democratic governance, building resilience, and ensuring inclusive development and justice are not mere policy options, but also imperatives. Honorable Speaker, democratic governance provides a legitimate framework to address complex and systematic challenges. It ensures that governments remain accountable to their people. Policies are inclusive and decisions are made through transparent processes. Parliaments are the bedrock of democracy, holding the executive accountable, enacting progressive laws, and ensuring that public resources are managed prudently and equitably. As the voice of the people, the Parliament plays an indispensable role in key democratic processes, especially in handling matters of national concern. In the Gambia, my government remains firmly committed to upholding parliamentary independence and strengthening oversight institutions. We believe that a strong parliament is absolutely essential for a strong democracy, with entrenched accountability and transparent procedures protected. Because our collective resilience strengthens us to withstand, adapt to, and recover from the shocks that hit our economy. We constantly seek options to build a diversified economy that can absorb external pressures. Besides developing effective disaster preparedness and response mechanisms, we also invest in social protection systems that shield the most vulnerable. We will continue to foster national cohesion, promote peace, education, and empower communities to participate actively in their own development and security. Honorable Speaker, the Gambia is currently on a journey of democratic consolidation, economic recovery, and climate action. We understand firsthand the value of robust institutions, transparent governance, and civic participation. We are thus committed to fostering an environment where peace prevails, opportunities flourish, and communities are resilient to climate and economic threats. Fittingly, therefore, we have established annual regional and national dialogue sessions to build consensus on thematic issues and enhance cohesion through dialogue. To solidify such initiative, this conference offers our countries a crucial learning and sharing platform to craft and act on innovative solutions. As parliamentarians, you are uniquely positioned to translate policy into action, advocate for your consequences, and ensure that the voices of the people are heard at the highest level of governance structures. This is an opportunity for you to compare notes. Distinguished delegates, the tasks before you are immense. So must your collective resolve be intense. The salvation of Africa lies in democratic governance, proper policies and appropriate actions, sustained by peace, stability, and security for all. In line with the values and principles, I encourage you to engage in thoughtful dialogue, forge stronger partnerships, and commit to concrete actions that will strengthen democratic governance and build resilience across the continent. I wish you a highly productive conference. With these thoughts on the theme, it is now my honor and privilege to declare the 54th Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Africa Region Conference officially open. May God bless us all.
And may we remain standing for the national anthem. Thank you. We may resume our seats. This is where we will draw the curtain for the official opening of the 54th CPA Africa Region Conference. But before we do, a couple of in-house announcements. The Right Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly is inviting all delegates to a welcome reception tonight at this very center. And he has humbly asked that all heads of delegations put on their dancing shoe in the evening because the dinner will be the Gambian way. We will now have a family photo, but this will be the order of precedence. We will now allow His Excellency the President and members of the High Table to exit the hall using the right exit. Honorable heads of national delegations to be accompanied by the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly of the Gambia, my Lord the Chief Justice, and the two leaders will exit the hall via the left exit, via my left. And all the rest of us, please, we can use any of the exits and protocol will assist us to the Family Photo Center. On that note, Your Excellency, with your permission, you may take your leave. Thank you. This is an announcement to the Nigerian head of delegations and speakers. Please, you are requested to be at the lounge for a meeting. Speakers and heads of delegations from Nigeria, you are requested to be at the lounge for a meeting. Thank you.
Oh, eh.
Kinayano. Kinayano. Eh, dire so.
honorable members, delegates of the 54th CPA Africa Region Conference, may we kindly resume our seats as we are about to commence proceedings this morning. The gentlemen at the back, can we please resume our seats as the proceedings are about to commence any moment from now.